This is Sean Gaines, creator of EXPhits.com, and today we're going to be looking at the top 5 J. Cole songs. J. Cole is a North Carolina MC. He has 3 albums under his belt as up to now. Big fan of his work overall. He has a very descriptive way of his storytelling and his subject matter and can put a lot of passion into the raps when he wants to. So I think overall he's top 3 of the new school along with Drake and Kendrick. But I think that's enough for the intro. Let's get straight to the list. Okay, number 5. Before I'm Gone. It's a track from the mixtape Friday Night Lights. This is the first song like J. Cole that I heard that really made me a fan of his. The singing from that chorus and the bells in the intro sets that soulful vibe to the song, and then Cole starts delivering with the lyrics. He really poured his heart out into the mic on this track. He talks about the struggles going on in inner city life, so there's people being murdered and killed and having to sell crack just to keep a roof over your head, and like your daughter's starving, so you might have to start robbing people, having to do what you got to do to keep yourself alive and keep your family alive. Which is a lot of real stuff because, he's from Fayetteville, North Carolina, and which is, as he described it, is a very poor place. It's a very ghetto area, so a lot of it's strictly about survival, not necessarily about what's right and what's wrong. And this song reminds me of Tupac in a way because sometimes J. Cole has been called the new Tupac. I don't want to necessarily say that he's all that because, Tupac's on that certain echelon. But J. Cole, he definitely does. You can definitely feel the influences that Tupac has had on J. Cole's music and songs like this. Okay, number 4. Lights, Please. This is the song that got Jay-Z to sign him to Roc Nation. In this song, he's talking about a girl that he messes with. He's not with her or nothing, but it's a girl that he's messing with. He wants her to be, sometimes he wants it to be more than just sex. He wants to actually talk to her, share ideas with her, but that's not really what she's into. She don't want, she's just trying to fuck, honestly. So that's what she's all about. And he talks about how his brother just said, pussy can be blinding and it can cloud your thoughts. Which is real. We as men, that's what we want. But in reality, it can, blind our perceptions at times. And okay, number 3, Return of Simba. This dropped a few months before he really blew up. But when I heard it, I knew he was going to blow up. Because this is the hungriest he's ever sounded on a record. I'm a big fan of the Simba trilogy, but this is without a doubt the best one in the trilogy. No hook, him just rapping and just spitting. It's very, very, it just grabs you as a listener. It said, the intensity he brought to this track was just him saying it's his time to become a star. And later on that year, he sold about 250,000 records first week. So with his first album, so yeah, he was definitely right about becoming a star. So I did enjoy the production on this track. The beginning part with Simba and Mufasa speaking to each other. Overall, just a very, very, very great song. Definitely one of his best to date. Okay, number 2, Two-Face. I personally believe that this song is the best track on Friday Night Lights. As a whole, the entire mixtape had a whole lot of emotion to it in the verses. And in this track specifically, J. Cole, he sounded pained about what he was talking about. He was really dealing with those stresses that he was talking about in the song. He talks about his past regrets. He questions God about all the pain that gets brought to the world. Sometimes he wonders, hey, why am I still here? And why did that nigga have to die? So it's very introspective in a way. And he feels that need to make it into the music industry because he feels that he's came so far at this point in the game. For him to just blow it, that'd suck. So he just feel like he has to just keep pushing and to become the biggest he could possibly be. And number 1, the best J. Cole song ever, in my humble opinion, is Lost Ones. This song, I love about the song is the fact that it's so relatable. Especially people in my generation, because I'm only 19, so I can feel it's relatable to any, young person, whatever, regardless of the generation. It's a conversation between 2 young soon-to-be parents, and J. Cole is providing narration in the last verse. He plays the perspective of all 3. And, the guy wants the girl to get an abortion because he's like, hey, I don't have the money. I'm barely over 20 years old. I cannot support a child. And, who am I to bring a child into this world when I know I have nothing to provide for him? Which is, he has a point to that when he's saying that. And the girl's like, nah, fuck that. I'm raising this kid with or without you. You went on without your father and you turned out okay. And she's saying if you don't want to be here, that's fine. Because I refuse to kill off this child because you're not God. You have no right to say whether this child should live or die. Which also is a point too. And then the last verse comes in where J. Cole, he's just providing narration. He's talking from, I guess, the friend side, kind of like the people's friends, talking about if that bitch really pregnant, tell her to get an abortion, and he said like, what about your seed? So it just really makes you think. Like J. Cole, he put an immense amount of thought into this song. You can tell when you listen to it. So yeah, I do believe this is his best song to date, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to outdo it later on in his career. But as for right now, that's number one. Okay, so you agree, disagree? Throw it in the comments. Thanks for listening.